Hey guys, it's Grant from Local Scraper, and I just wanted to introduce everybody to Contact Hunter. A lot has changed in this update, so either watch this as your first video, or hopefully you're watching this because you've previously used the program and you need to figure out what's new. Okay, when you open the program, you should be presented with a screen that looks like this. Some things that are new is pretty much all of it. We'll start by each section, and I'll go over them one at a time. So we'll start off with the CSV template. In the previous version of the program, you made a text file which had a list of domains in it. No longer do we do that because we have new options, Google Search and Yahoo Local. So the CSV template is actually a CSV file that is included in the same folder as this program. I'll also have it downloadable on the README page, but pretty much it looks just like this. It is a normal CSV file. It is not an Excel sheet, a workbook, or anything. It is a CSV. And in it we have these headers: name, address, phone, website, email, Google+, and Twitter. And what we do now is that Contact Hunter will now complete addresses for you. So we've added in a new address completion ability to the program. So what you would do is you would enter in as much detail as you have, minus the email, Facebook, Twitter. Like you don't do these last four. So you concentrate on A, B, C, D, and you put in whatever you have on the company. So I know there's like a place called Hogfish, and I know it's a restaurant, and I know it's in Key West, Florida. And if I just ran this now, it would find the phone and the website, because I know this business is on Google Maps. It's also on Yahoo Maps. And if I check the box, it would then try to find an email and these other four. So E, F, G, and H are all automatically generated. You just have to fill in A, B, C, D here. And fill it in with whatever you have. If I only had the phone number of a place, I could put that in. We'll say like that's a phone number. If you only had the website of a place, you could put that in. Of course, this won't work for something with chains. So for website, you can't put Burger King. But if it's like a cafe and there's only the one of them, you can put in the website. You can try to only put in a name, but I don't think that'll work so well because you're essentially searching the whole world for this one place. So you should generally at least have something in the address. And this is full address, by the way. This is street address, city, zip, country, whatever you want to put in there. I can also do like 3040. That's a zip code. And then I can put, some name of some business in here. Jimmy's Cafe. I don't know if that's a real place or not. But you would put in a place, a zip code, and what the program will now do is it will go to Google, and it will search in Google, and then it will also go to Yahoo Local, and it will search there. So it will use as much information as you have in the CSV. So in this example, if we checked here Google search, what would happen is that the scraper would combine Hogfish and Key West, Florida. So it would go to Google, it types in Hogfish, Key West, Florida, and hits enter, and hopefully the business will come up because that is specific enough that Google knows what you're talking about, and they suggest the business to you. When they suggest the business, we then scrape the email from the suggested business. Same thing goes for like a phone number. Phone numbers are unique. So what this would happen is this would go to Google, it would type in the phone number. If Google knew of the place and had a suggestion for you, it would do that. Now, here, maybe I'll just show you guys real quick. I will open Chrome and I will show you what I'm talking about here. Is if we come over here, basically what the program would do is it would go Hogfish, US, Florida. It would hit enter. And then what we're going to go for is over here is this. See this box over here? This is the Google Maps suggestion box. So what we're doing is we're scraping the details from this box. So we now have the address, the phone, and the website. So the scraper would type in this into Google like we just did, and it would get this and this. It does the same thing for Yahoo. You have to check the Yahoo box. It will now go to Yahoo Maps, and it will type in the details, and it will search that. Okay? And the program will only search them if you have the boxes checked. So if you only want to check Google, you will now only scrape Google. If you check Yahoo Local, it will only do that, and so on and so forth. So if we wanted to, we could check all three as well and do that. Okay, so Google search we went over. Yahoo search we've gone over. It does the same thing. It just uses the first 4 rows of the template to try to find a place, right? Now the email search is what the Contact Hunter used to do. And that means that if we have a website for the business, it will visit the business's website and it will try to find an email, Facebook URL, Google+, and Twitter URLs. But it will only do this if you have an email. Now, in this example, we don't have a website. So if I had checked like the Google search here, and then I check the email search, and then the bot goes to Google, finds the website right here, it will then visit the website and then find me my address, my email address. The other way you can do this is you can uncheck both of these boxes and use the program like you originally did. That means to just feed it a giant list of websites, starting with HTTP, so http://www, wherever. So in this, we would get rid of the cells and your template. There. Your template would just have website in here, it would have a website in here, website in here, website in here, and so on and so on. Now, of course, remember they have to be HTTP, all that. I'm just not going to type it out. So you only have a column of websites. Okay. With your column of websites, you then come over here, you check this box, you choose the file for the template, and then you run the program. It will visit all the websites and it will try to find the email and the social account of those places. Not a problem. We also have this option here, overwrite data. What this will do is it will create a new file. The program always saves a new file. It doesn't save to your template kind of thing. But what it will do is it will save the information that it finds instead of saving your information that you put in. So here I'm going to actually do this real quick. I'll save this. What that means is that in here I have a partial address. I have Key West, Florida. I don't actually know its street address. I don't know its zip code. I don't even know if Hogfish is the full name of the place. We saw that it came up, but that's not the full name of the place, see? So if I check the overwrite data box and then I run this search, what it will do, there we go. What it will do is it will replace the name that I put in the CSV. So instead of Hogfish, it will now say Hogfish Bar and Grill. Instead of the little Key West, Florida, it will put the full address in my save file. Again, it's not changing the template. This is template Excel. It will not change that. What it will do is it saves a new file called contact output, and in that, instead of Hogfish, it will have the full name of the business. Instead of Key West, Florida, it will have the full address of the business. So check the overwrite data box if you have partials. You have a partial name, you have a partial address, you can put those in. Even if I just said 33040, 533.30.40. If I just had this, when I ran the program, again, this would be replaced with the full address in the final save file. Okay. Records found. This will be how many total listings are in your CSV file. So if you have 50 lines, this will say 50. Current record is where it is at in the progress of scraping your data. So if current record is 10 and you have 50, you are 1/5 of the way through the scrape. Okay. Current proxy lists that. It lists your current proxy IP address. Max threads lists how many threads you want at most, and I will show you that in the options tab. And current threads are how many threads are being used. So if your max threads were 10, current threads will be 10, but then you'll see it go to 8, you'll see it go to 7, you'll see it go back up to 9, you'll see it go back up to 10. This fluctuates with how many are currently being used, and when you get to the end it will count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 as they complete their tasks. Okay, self-explanatory. This starts it, this stops it, and then this big white box here is where the program will tell you what it is doing. This is like a log file, so it'll say starting scrape, loading file, job finished, and stuff like that. Okay, onto the next tab. So we have 2 tabs up here. Proxy options. If you're going to use proxies, which I highly recommend if you're going to be doing any Google searches. Not so much if you're only doing Yahoo and email. If you're only doing email, you don't even need proxies, because every website is its own thing and they'll never catch you. If you're doing Google, highly recommend proxies. Don't need them, highly recommend them. Yahoo, I sort of recommend them. It's always best to have them rather than not, but I don't know how picky Yahoo's going to be about it. Depends on how much scraping you're doing. Anyway, so you're going to check use proxies, and you will click here, and you will feed the program a text file of proxies that are IP port, and that's it. If you're going to use proxies, I recommend places on the README page below here. I also recommend that you set them up to IP authorization, because the program does not like user passwords at the end of proxies. Again, as you see, IP port, no user pass. If you want, you can check the test proxies, but you really don't need to so long as you've bought the proxies and you know they work. Test proxies is more for situations where you got them and you don't know if you can connect to them or not, because this only tests for a connection to the proxy. So if you've paid for them and you've set them up correctly, you know they work. You don't really need to test if you can connect to them or not. Okay? If you use Hide My Ass, you can check Hide My Ass right here. You can put a wait time in seconds for how long it takes you to connect to Hide My Ass. I recommend you set this to 45 to 60 or more, because what it does is that at the beginning of each scrape, it will disconnect you from Hide My Ass and reconnect you to Hide My Ass. So you have to already have it set up in that program to automatically change your VPN that you're using. This is still in here because some people asked for it, but do note that Hide My Ass does not like you scraping with their service, and they don't recommend it. So, I mean, if you were to get anything, I would get the proxies. Get them from the place on the README page. They're pretty cheap. Okay, the wait time in seconds. This is how long the program will wait for each page to load. So as you saw when we came over and we Googled this, we have to wait, 1,000, 2, 3 seconds here. Now the default time is 2 to 3 seconds for the page to load. If you are using proxies and you find that through bouncing through the proxies things are a little slower, pages are not loading, change this to something higher, 5, 6, 10, whatever you want. Just know that when you set this, that each scraper will go, it will type into Google the search, it'll hit enter, and it will wait however long you put. So this does slow down the program, but it does make it run while, if you set it to 1, it won't necessarily work. Okay, Threads. This is where it gets fun. I recommend proxies if you're going to use Threads and search Google or Yahoo Local. If you're doing email search, it doesn't matter. Again, because when you're finding emails, each site is unique, so none of them are getting constantly barraged, by your connections. Now, if you're doing Google, then that means you keep connecting to Google, and they can kind of see that you keep connecting to them. With the email thing, you would connect to like hogfish.com, and you would go through 3 pages of their site or something, and then leave. So it doesn't raise any flags. Anyway, what Threads does is this is the number of little workers we want to send out to scrape stuff. So if we have 5, that means that we will branch out the program, and it will do 5 different websites all at the same time, or it will connect to Google 5 times and do your searches. So of course, if it's 1, we send out a little guy, he goes to Google, he gets the information, he brings it back. We set it to 5 little guys go to Google, get the information, and bring it back. That's why you can get caught by Google if you set this to like 10, because that means like every 2 or 3 seconds you have 10 little guys going to Google, all from the same IP address, and they kind of look at you and go, okay, you're a robot, go away. So I only recommend setting Threads higher than 1 or 2. I mean, if you want to go higher than 2, you're going to need proxies, unless you're only doing email searches. Okay? So again, if you're doing Google, you probably will need proxies, depending on the amount of stuff you're doing. And if you want to add more threads, it's definitely gonna be needed here. Again, proxies are only like $7.50 a month. I mean, they start there, they get more expensive, but $7.50 and you'll be good. Okay. Timestamp files will do just that. The files all kind of have the same name, so they have like contact hunter dash output .csv. So it's like, well, that could be anything. And if you kept running the program over and over and over again, it will just keep rewriting that same file and deleting the old one. So if you check timestamp, it will timestamp from when you ran the program. So it'll say contact hunter dash output, but it'll give the date and the time. So it will have a unique file name, so the program will not auto overwrite its own file. So again, if you don't want your files to be overwritten, and you don't want to manually change the name of them or move them yourself, check this box. Save folder location is where the program will save its output CSV files to. By default, CSV files are saved into the same the same folder that the program is located in. If you don't want to save them to the same folder, say you want to save them to Dropbox or to Cloud Drive or something or other, you would click here and it will pop up a little window and it will say, where do you want to save them? So you can pick My Documents, Desktop, Download folder. You can make a new folder for each scrape, but you have to do that beforehand, and before you run the scrape, make sure you tell it where you want to save the stuff. If you don't tell it, again, it will save it into the same folder. Okay, that's it. I've walked through like everything here. On this README page, I will go over a little more in detail. So if you missed anything, check that, and I will try to explain it. If you need even more help than that, contact me at support@localscraper, and we will figure it out. Okay, guys, enjoy.